After watching The Fellowship of the Rings in theaters, I thought of a dream matchup. Christopher Lee's Count Dooku versus Ian McKellen's Magneto. JD, what do you think?
I just thought of him making that car into a pancake and flipping it, and I kind of think that he would probably take Dooku there.
Cody?
What does it have to do with Lord of the Rings?
They're both actors in it.
That's true. Oh yeah, throw Sauron in that mix.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Or
No,
which one is the White Wizard? I'm sorry, Saruman.
Yeah. Oh.
I think Sauron might have an edge up on that one.
Like Magneto takes him.
I just think, dude, he straight up like messes with the Earth's gravitational pull sometimes at the point. So I just feel like Dooku can use the Force, but he can only block a few things at once. And I feel like Magneto could just straight up crush him within like a steel vault. Like I don't know. I'd go Magneto on that one. He ain't getting Force mind tricked.
That'd be a sick fight, though, if you have an enclosed space with limited resources where they're kind of like evenly matched. I would love to see that on the old big screen.
Right. How about the lightsaber, though? Close combat lightsaber?
It's just
the hilt made out
Did you
of?
get that close?
He'll
hilt
have
made out of?
shrapnel coming from all angles.
Oh, God.
Oh, hilt's crushed.
Give him the stick one that you guys like in the game, the one they made out of a tree.
I don't like those ones, actually.
It's
I think there's
strategic.
still
my
metal
least
in there.
Yeah, that's a good point. You just crushed the lightsaber. I think Magneto's taking it.
Oh, I got you. The plastic ones they used in the prequels because those are clearly plastic, so you can use those ones. What else you got?
I got a fun one here. Would you go to Jurassic Park if it was real? But there's a 50% chance some like movie shit's gonna go down. You're gonna, you could die. Someone you love could die, but you're gonna see some dinosaurs.
Before I had children, I'd absolutely do it, but now probably I'll just stay at home.
Shit.
I was going to say the same thing.
Throw
I'd
the
be Jimmy
baseball
Butler
around.
with the 2 margaritas running,
I ain't got kids. Take me out there.
Right? Yeah. I'll take the chance.
50-50 chance we need a new podcast member.
Yeah.
Injury doesn't necessarily mean a T-Rex is going to eat you. And honestly,
True.
I'd be more worried about the raptors. That'd be the thing I'd be freaked out about. If raptors get loose, then yeah, maybe I don't want to go. But any other tragedy or, accident,
Right.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah, they're probably open 350 days a year. There's only accidents on maybe 10, 20 of those days.
Yeah,
the days are good to go.
I like my
Interesting
odds.
statistics.
I'll outrun the rest of the people there. If it's an open park and it's not like a test like the first movie where there's only them there, it's an open park, I'll take my chances.
You're pushing some old lady down and running away.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, you had a long life.
Yeah, it's every man for himself at that point.
Exactly.
All right. There's dinosaurs.
All right, next one. I'm surprised we haven't done this before. I always see it on the internet, too. It's the pick one to protect you while the others try to kill you.
I always see that.
Right?
It's always so hard because it's like 20 people. So it's 1 against 19 every time. It's like,
I know.
I don't
Maybe
think anybody...
how about the other ones attack one at a time, so they have to survive. They have to outlast the other 4 one at a time.
I like that. It's
So
better.
it's a 2-parter. We're gonna go first with the Dora Milaje, Black Widows, the Black Order, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Defenders.
Who are the defenders?
Like Daredevil, Iron Fist,
Like
Luke
Netflix's
Cage.
Defenders.
For
Yeah.
sure. Do the Dora Milaje all have Iron Man suits now?
No, this is Black Panther
Yeah,
1.
good. Just want to establish that.
Damn.
Stupid.
That's actually a good... That's tough.
Take the Guardians. Give me the Guardians.
Yeah.
That teamwork.
I think
Yeah.
the Guardians.
It's between Guardians and Dora Milaje for me, but it's really hard for me to count out the Dora Milaje because it's basically a bunch of Gamoras that all work very, very well together. But you got Groot. who's just like kind of a cheat code.
A monster, yeah.
Do they have Drax and Nebula and Gamora and all of them, or just like the OG first movie crew? Because Nebula wasn't part of it then.
No, Nebula's in there. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the right answer, I think.
Wakanda and technology.
Put the door
Black
Milaje,
Order?
the numbers there.
No,
But they're not.
Thanos' children.
Who's the
we
Black
didn't even
Order?
consider the Black Order. That's pretty.
It's a good
stacked.
point. Ebony Maw.
Infinity Wars. Thanos' gang.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Shoot. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ebony Maw. He kind of.
Dude, and Corvus
You know what?
Glaive, Proxima, they're both savage and have insane high-tech weapons. Like,
That makes me kind of bummed we didn't see just Guardians of the Galaxy versus Black Order in either of those movies. That would have been sick.
Right.
I think the Black Order takes him, though.
I was going to say, I kind of think I'm taking the Black Order there.
All right.
Ebony straight up had Doctor Strange beat. Like, he had him with needles going into his face, and then he took on Iron Man and them in the street, too. It took Spider-Man to swoop in and kind of take him out of the field of play, but Ebony Maw alone is substantial. And then Corvus and Proxima, I'm going Black Order. I just convinced myself Black Order.
Yeah,
If
I
it's
think
an
you might be
adult
right on that
Groot,
one.
he's still the wild card that could possibly win that, but...
He is. But, yeah, Black Order.
Yeah,
for me.
Black Order probably takes that.
Thanks for reminding us
I like
that
that
was
one.
an option.
Yeah. Right.
Disregarded them.
Blew right past that one.
Part 2. We have another one. We're gonna go with the big teams now. So you get the Avengers. We'll just go on screen here. On screen. Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Fantastic Four, and the Masters of Evil. So I was looking up teams. I don't know, JD, you're familiar with the Masters of Evil from the comics.
Like Skeletor.
No,
Little bit.
right. I guess there's a bunch of different versions of the Masters of Evil, but the one we're going with, I mean, this is kind of just more for fun. It's Zemo, Black Knight, Venom, Ultron, M'Baku, and Doc Ock.
Baku, what are you doing in there?
I know. And there's another one. It's called the Multiversal Masters of Evil. And I don't know if this is exactly the team, but it's Mephisto, Doom Supreme, Dark Phoenix, Black Skull, Kid Thanos, and King Killmonger.
Kid Thanos.
I'm unfamiliar with both of these by a lot, so...
Yeah,
They,
Yeah,
they,
but
they both sound like really stacked teams, though.
Right. So just the first one, Zemo, Black Knight, Venom, Ultron, and Baku, Doc Ock. And then Fantastic Four, Eternals, X-Men, Avengers.
Which
I'm
X-Men
gonna
team?
Yeah. Ooh. good question.
You can go Fassbender
X-Men 97
and
squad?
McAvoy's team.
Oh, okay.
No, no. That's
Wait,
too
so
good.
no Wolverine then? If it's McAvoy and Fassbender, he wasn't.
Oh, no, you're right. No,
Really?
let's do the OG. Let's do OG.
Okay.
OG with Magneto turned yet? That's too many questions.
Probably no Magneto.
No, he's on the squad.
Not gonna lie though, that
Oh my
Ultron
God, okay.
and Venom and think of that Ultron, Venom, that one Master of Evil squad sounded unbeatable.
I know.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with that one.
I'm gonna
Who
go
is it?
X-Men.
It's crazy how we
If
just
we're
don't
doing-
even consider the Avengers, though. They're just like,
Yeah, they have too many humans.
That's our Black Order. No, but
There's a lot
yeah,
of
I would go
humans.
with but Professor X powers or the but the whole Ultron thing is crazy because you have Venom and Ultron and a couple other big bangers on that squad.
Doc Ock, Black
Black
Knight.
Knight.
Zemo's just kind of
Doc
general
Ock
on the
and Black
field.
That's
Knight
not
or
as good as I
whatever.
was really-
Zemo.
Maybe
I'm
the-
Jean Grey, Charles Xavier, and Magneto and Wolverine are all on the same team with Cyclops. I'm taking that
So-
squad
and
every
Storm?
time. You have two of the
Yes.
most
All right,
powerful
that's true.
telepaths in the world, along with Magneto, who's usually the only one who thwarts them. Like well, that's not fair. That's not at all true in the comics. But I'm going with them. That's stacked just those three, and you throw in Wolverine, Cyclops, and Storm.
Ooh, but Ultron will not get affected by that telepathy. Telepathy.
Metal.
Good God.
Would Magneto not be able to crush him? What's he made out
True.
of?
True. X-Men probably wins that. You got that one.
And Wolverine, adamantium tearing through Ultron. I mean, I don't know. I would take X-Men.
Yeah. I wonder if they've addressed that in the comics, Ultron versus Magneto, because unless you
Right?
make yourself out of a completely different alloy.
It's easily
whatever
writable.
it
Didn't
is.
Tony do that? Didn't he create
Yeah.
a suit where Magneto couldn't mess with him? And I think a lot of other
Yeah.
characters have done that too. So it's believable. Who's your pick?
That was a good one. You're muted.
You're muted or something.
Are you talking to me?
You guys
No, I was
got
talking to
anything
Lub.
else? Sorry.
No, who's your pick?
Oh, my pick? Oh, yeah, me. Sorry.
What just happened?
No, I'm not going with the X-Men too. You definitely convinced me.
Yeah, that was convincing.
Okay, so now, is there anything else to be added to this?
I'll do one quick one, and I guess I could only do this for you, Davian, because you've read Civil War. But all I want to ask is, do you think Civil War is better, the movie or the comic, including all the tie-ins?
That's really hard. I don't know how to compare comic to movie like that, but I guess more thoroughly of a better story told, the comics. But I mean, it's one of the best MCU movies, so that's... I mean, if I was told you either get to reread the MCU, or you get to reread Civil War for the first time, or you get to rewatch Civil War for the first time, I'm going with the movie. That's kind of the only way I can decide on that.
For sure. Event for event, then.
Yeah, I think the comic book event was done better. Was
Just the 6-issue Civil Wars compared to the movie?
Blasphemy.
Yeah, probably. It was better written, I think. The movie,
Yeah.
I felt there were aspects that were rushed. But
Yeah,
it brought in freaking Black Panther and Peter Parker. So like, what the hell? It's hard to say, man.
Right, for what it
I'd
did,
pick
as
movie,
far as
I
that
guess.
movie goes.
Yeah, just because just sentimental stuff there. I had more fond memories of the movie than reading the comic.
For sure. Yeah, curious, yeah. Edit out all those yeahs, please. Good God. yeah, just curious.
No,
Yeah.
we're live.
Yeah, sure,
we are
yeah.
live and rolling, good sir.
YouTube, I'm sorry, but yeah. We'll fix
Alright,
it.
this is the best of us.
Check out
We're-
Spotify.
I forgot this was on YouTube. I'm over here like picking my nose and shit.
Nah, you're okay. We got a guy
Oh,
who
yeah.
edits all that out. Don't worry about it. You can
we got a guy.
pull your balls
You got a
out,
guy?
do whatever what you want to do. Yeah.
Jamie, cut that, please.
His name's
No, we
Jaime.
don't touch
He's
the
back in
video.
All right. I'll throw this one out real quick to wrap this up. I was going to save it for Nerd Octagon, but we'll throw it out now. 3-on-3. Who you got winning? We're going to go down the list. I'm starting with you, JD. Batman, Nightwing, and Red Hood against Steve Rogers' Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America, and Winter Soldier.
Oh, the Bat Family. Easy.
Easy. Okay, I like the confidence. All right. Caleb, you agree?
What was the Captain America team again? Sorry.
Steve Rogers, Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America, and Winter Soldier. What's up, Willie?
That was a ghost.
Well, there's no one with like superpowers on the Bat Family, right? They're just a bunch of
It doesn't matter.
trauma-ridden
matter.
trauma-ridden individuals put together to fight crime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smart guys, though. Smart
That's all
guys.
accurate. That is all accurate.
I'm going with Cap. Come on, you can't take Cap down.
Oh, man.
And he'll just
Yeah.
get back up.
Now, is
like
it
it.
maybe if is it in Gotham or that changes? I don't know, dude. The Bat Family would outthink
Neutral
them, I swear.
site.
They would totally
Neutral
figure
site.
it out. They would go steal his shield before he uses it. They would figure out his plans. They'd probably pop his tires before he got in his car.
Neutral site. Everybody shows up to battle equipped. You can't like sneak a poison to Captain America's water the night before. It's got to be the fight. It's going down.
So it's pretty much like you. It's pretty much just you got your gadgets and your weapons. Boom! You're in the arena and fight. If it's
I don't know
if
about
it's
an
like
arena. Just
that, yeah, but
on the streets.
yeah, maybe in the
Street
city. I don't know.
But full
How do you-
gadgetry. Bat Family's got their gadgetry. I mean, that's
How do
their
you actually
superpower,
like,
so-
knock Captain America out or stop him? And you know,
Well,
but with his gadgets, he's probably got something that could tranquilize his ass. I don't know.
I bet you no Batman. No, I'm gonna switch my vote to Bat Family because Batman would find the hypnotist thing that changes Winter Soldier into the evil version
All
of
right, get out
himself.
of here. All right, we're cutting you off. Cody, I want to hear what you think about this. You guys have flip-flopped too much already. I don't even know what the hell Love's talking about over there.
Homecoming.
Oh, man.
Talking about Batman going to talk with the Dora Milaje to learn the passcode to remove Bucky's arm and stuff. Like, we're not going that far. And Cody, I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Raider car.
I think I'm going to go with Cap's team. They,
all right.
Just because two of them are, like, super powered and they're hella strong. And Cap would just... I don't know. I don't think you can just knock Cap out. I think he just, what does he say? I didn't hear no bell or whatever. I could do this all day.
I could do this all day, but I like that one too.
No bell.
I ain't hear no bell, Sam.
I think that's from South Park. But anyways,
it is.
Yeah.
that
fighting at the
Randy?
Little League games. But yeah, no, I think Cap, Cap with Bucky and Sam Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they
I
take
thought
him.
this was America. Okay.
Mr. Batman. He had plans to take out the whole Justice League. I'm sure he could wipe Captain America's 3-man team. Boom. The whole Justice League gone. Wonder Woman.
Yeah, prep
no,
time.
thank you. See you
Yeah,
later.
but that's
Flash.
always the thing with Batman, right? It's like, how much prep time does he have? Because with prep time, Batman can probably beat anybody.
That's why I'm annoyed with myself from arguing it like that.
It does kind
yeah.
of ruin hypotheticals to a point, even though that's me saying that most of the time. But it does kind of like ruin stuff when no matter what situation there is Batman prep time. But I will say that the post I got this idea from, not an original idea. I'm sorry, everybody out there who thought I was a genius. The majority of the people said Team Cap. And I commented Team Batman just because I think Sam gets iced by Nightwing right off the bat. Sam has no chance. Nightwing takes him out. And then I think Batman and Cap go at it for a while. It's tough because Batman and Cap are pretty equal in a lot of different ways. Obviously not the super strength. And then Bucky, Winter Soldier, and Jason Todd are very similar too. So they're very similar matchups. But I think Nightwing washes Sam, and then you got a quick 2-on-1 right from there. Jason's not afraid to shoot somebody in the face. And last time I checked, Super Soldier Serum does not prevent you from getting headshots. So that's why I go Bat Family. I think Sam Wilson is the weak link, and he gets taken out, and then it's 2-on-1 or 3-on-2.
Batman doesn't
like
kill,
that.
though.
But Jason does.
That's true.
So Batman will incapacitate him and be like, all right, Jason, it's done. And then he turns around and Jason's already shot him in the face with a Desert Eagle. That's pretty much how that one goes down in my head.
That's hilarious.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
All right, that's all I got.
All right. Let's move on to the main episode. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Joining me today are my co-hosts David Cochran and Jeremy Darr, and a very special guest, fan of the show, Cody Snyder. And of course, we are here to discuss Acolyte Episode 3, the newest show creating all the buzz on the internet. And of course, don't forget to check out some of our other episodes. We have our coverage of the premiere, episodes 1 and 2 out now. And our coverage of Old Man Logan comic book series, getting ready for Deadpool 3. And of course, all of our Week in Geek episodes. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Why So Sidious Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. We're calling it Twitter this time. Everyone calls it Twitter. No one calls it X.
It did not catch on.
No, it did not at all. And of course, this will be a spoiler warning for the first 3 episodes of The Acolyte. If you have not seen it, what are you doing here? Go and watch it, and then come on back. But before we dive in, we wanted to get our thoughts, or we wanted to get Cody's thoughts on the first 2 episodes. So, Cody, how did you feel about those first couple episodes?
I really enjoyed them. I thought it was pretty good. I like that it started off immediately with action. From the first scene of the first episode, like we see a Jedi die, and it's like, oh shit, they're not messing around. So right. I like that aspect of it a lot. Overall, I don't know, that mid-7 tier probably for me. I mean, the dialogue's a little rough, campy at times, but the action's been pretty good. And I feel like the twists were, from what we've already got. I mean, so much has already been revealed, and you're only, now 3 episodes in, but kind of what we were expecting. I was watching it with my wife. That's why I had to wait so long. I just watched them all last night because we just flew in from out of town, but
Oh, okay.
immediately after the first episode, she's like, if she's acting, she's really good, because this, it doesn't make any sense. And so
Right.
immediately she's like, I bet it's an evil twin. And I was like, oh, like, cool.
got it.
I was hoping like
My
Winter
wife called
Soldier,
that
like she's
too.
being awakened or something.
Yeah,
But,
that would have been cool.
Oh.
but yeah, no, I've enjoyed them. I really have. They've been pretty good so far. So, and I really liked episode 3. There were parts that were not good, but overall I thought it was good. Nice getting a little backstory and stuff. So I'm sure we'll get into that though.
It's funny though, that's literally exactly what happened with me and my wife watching. I was thinking it was a schizo Jedi, like it was split personality. And when the reveal came, my wife was like, "Well, yeah, obviously." I was like, "What do you mean, obviously?" She's like, "It was obviously a twin." I was like, "Oh, I thought it could have been a split personality." And I was telling JD and Lub, I thought that would have been a cooler route to see a schizo force user, somebody who literally, like, legitimately, she was being genuine when she was denying that she killed the Jedi, but she actually did, and she just splits with the force involved. I think that'd be a crazy interesting story to tell. But
Right.
it's
There's no
just
way that's
interesting.
on Disney Plus.
Wives just somehow know. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, well, let's get into the episode. We'll start it off with a quick summary to get you guys rehashed on the episode. So it opens up on Brendock with a young May and Osha. We see some red flags for May, but her and her sister have a strong bond. We meet their mom, Mother Anastasia, and a force training session ensues. We find out more about the relationship between the twins. Then it's ascension time. But before Osha can get her powers, the Jedi have crashed the party and want to take the twins back to be tested. May fails on purpose, but Osha can't hold back the truth. She wants to be a Jedi. But May would rather see her dead than leave, so she locks the door and sets it on fire, leading to the entire fortress to be destroyed, killing the coven. Osha is saved, but May goes full Kylo and rides down the trench. Master Soul confronts her, telling her she'll never feel like this again, but as we know, May survived and is out for revenge. So, we kind of thought a flashback was coming, and I'm glad they did kind of just do most of it in one episode instead of like the first 5 minutes of the next 3, teasing and teasing and teasing. So that was cool. But like I said, May's out there torturing bugs, like freezing them in the Force. Definitely a sign of a future serial killer. But then they go to the Force training, and you can tell right off the bat that they're not Jedi or Sith. Like, this is something new we haven't seen before. And you can see that May is clearly stronger in the Force. So how'd you guys feel about that little training scene and her mom kind of discussing her mythology of the Force?
I actually liked the mom. I thought she did really well.
Yeah.
Like, whatever role she was playing, she kind of, like, I was believing it. So, I was into it. I fell asleep when I was watching it the first time, so I'm having a hazy memory of the beginning, but it was interesting, and I remember it being unique, and I remember being pretty engaged to that story and seeing them grow up. Definitely didn't expect the whole episode to revolve around them. I wasn't, like, stoked on that. Like, I'm glad we got the answer. Well, I don't even know if I'm glad we got the answer, because just like episode 1, I was really into the mystery of her identity, and then they just revealed it, so that was gone. That kind of happened this time too. I was expecting something a little more climactic from that mystery at what happened with the fire, because it didn't seem like the Jedi did anything very sinister, and it seemed like they were leading
why'd
towards
that guy kill himself? Why'd Tommen kill himself?
Well, right, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff there, but getting into it far. But I like that it's different and unique. It's just towards the end of the episode, I didn't love what they did with that reveal.
Yeah, a lot of people had issues with this, and again, I'm not going to get into my rant again, I promise. But there's a lot of extreme opinions out there, and a lot of people came away from this episode going, "That's it. They crossed the line. They broke lore. They changed George Lucas's story. It's done. They've done it. I can't believe they've done this." And that's in response to how Mother A explained her interpretation of the Force, which I thought she was dope. I thought it was interesting. She was a great actress, and her wife was god awful. Like every line of dialogue from the Zabrak mother was just insanely unnatural. But the Mother Anastasia, is that what you said?
Anastasia
Nailed it. She was great. But yeah, a lot of people got pissed saying it broke the lore of the Force, and I just don't think that's what happened. Lub and I were kind of discussing it earlier, and it's just like, that's just their interpretation of how it works. That doesn't mean that that is what it is in this universe. That's the Force. They've changed the entire structure of how the Force works in Star Wars. I just didn't see it as that happening. It's kind of like religion in the world. A ton of different people believe in this higher power, and they all have their different interpretations on the story behind it, what that high power is. And I just think that was an example of a coven out in the galaxy far, far away that had their interpretation of what the Force is. So right. I didn't think that was horrible. So I thought it was interesting at first. I was interested for the first 10 minutes when we were learning about the twins and everything. But
you know, for me, it was just super abrupt the way that the Jedi showed up. All of a sudden, she wants to become a Jedi and change her whole entire life and leave her twin sister. Like a kind of bond that twins would have. I don't really think at that age you would really be wanting to go do something like that, let alone like leave your family behind for something so extreme. Like, and what drew her to the Jedi at all? We didn't really get an example of what made her so infatuated by the Jedi to where she would want to just ditch her whole life for it. So it felt abrupt. Then out of nowhere, May's starting a fire. That was also abrupt too, you know? Like, it was like they were building on this story and the character development was solid, and all of a sudden, you know, Jedi, fire, that's the reveal, you know, and it's just like, wait, what? So that was my thing with the ending.
I agree on the ending part that you're talking about there. I will say with Osha, we didn't learn why, but our very first scene with her showed that she didn't have that bond with her twin. She kept running away and hiding from her and said, I want a different... Like, right off the bat, our scenes with Osha was her not wanting anything to do with her family, and they kind of kept doing that. So at least there wasn't like an abrupt 180 where she went from having that bond. They just kind of skipped over why she feels that way and didn't tell us, which, yeah, I'm still curious as well why she hates her family and her planet and is so infatuated with the Jedi, but...
That'd be nice, too. I didn't process the wanting to leave her family thing, but that's better.
Right.
Cody?
I don't remember the question.
Hell yeah.
But I will say that I think there's a lot more to the story than what we saw in that one episode. Because, I mean, with the Tommen guy who, I don't know, the dude that Tommen played, Torben and Tommen.
Torben.
With Torben, it really seemed like he was deeply, I mean, he was so sorry that he killed himself. Like, he willingly took the poison. So it seemed to me like, I mean, they shut the door and then all of a sudden there was a fire. And yeah, May had the fire in her hand, but it didn't show her actually like purposely set it on fire. So it could be that maybe there was something that happened, like Torben saw her grab the fire and try to intervene, and he was the one that caused it, or, you know, something along those lines, to where the Jedi did play some part into, you know, the whole like witch temple burning down and everybody dying. So I think there's more to it that they haven't revealed, and I think they kind of hid that on purpose, like the actual act of the fire, because there's something else going on there for sure.
Yeah,
I like that.
I would hope there's more explanation, because we got more questions out of this episode than answers, like a bunch. Again, yeah, like, wait, what? I think May did intentionally light that thing on fire, but it went from her holding the thing on fire, saying you're not leaving, and then all of a sudden the whole entire place is burned down. So there had to have been something that happened in between her lighting that thing and then what carried on from there. So I agree with you, Cody. I'm curious. They better answer that. If they don't go back to that again, I will be like very annoyed.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking maybe the fire got into like the electrical system or something, because like the reactor overloads and like explodes in the core of their little fortress. So something else had to have happened for all of those explosions and for all of them to die so quickly. Like,
maybe it's just Osha's memory. Maybe she thought May did that, but really the Jedi were sabotaging to take the kids away because they thought the witch and the coven and the parents were a danger, and maybe that's just Osha's memory of it that we're getting. Maybe that's just her vantage point that she thinks May did it, but really we're going to get another kind of explanation to what really happened later. I don't know.
So episode
I think
4
that's
was going to
definitely
be
possible. Well, and especially like Torben took the brash vow which basically they go into solitude. They don't talk to anybody for the rest of their life, basically. And so for him to, and I can't remember exactly which book they talked about it, but there was another Jedi that took the brash vow also in one of the books. And so they kind of talk about how there something had to have happened to where he felt so bad that he didn't even want to be a Jedi there at the temple anymore. Mm-hmm. Like it couldn't have been long after. I mean, within that, it said he's been silent for 10 years. And this whole, like the first couple episodes took place about 10 years after the whole incident. So maybe something happened. He was accidentally responsible or whatever. I mean, obviously May sees it different than what actually happened. And maybe he did too. And so he kind of said like, maybe there's some kind of Jedi cover up going on. And he was just like, I'm out, guys.
No, you're right. The timeline works perfectly because they were 8 when she was brought into the Order. 10 years later, she's, 18 to 21 in the show right now. It's been 16 years since that event?
Yeah.
Is that what the episodes? Oh, okay. So it took him 6 years to take that vow, which is weird then. But we have seen that in the Vader comic when Vader has to work to get his own lightsaber and he comes across that Jedi who's got the ponytail. JD likes that whole fight intro in the Soul deal. He had taken the vow before Vader found him. So
interesting.
And I agree with what you said there too, Cody. I think there is a Jedi cover-up behind this whole season. They've already made the point of, well, we can't let it out that somebody's using the Force and killed the Jedi Master. Obviously, the Jedi doesn't know about the Sith once we get to Phantom Menace. So I think there is a cover-up here, and I think the show is going to be making the Jedi look flawed. I think that's their whole point. And they came off flawed in this episode, which when we get to it, but I wasn't crazy about how they were acting this episode.
Yeah, especially Soul. All right, let's get back to it. Let's go to the ceremony, the Ascension.
Oh God!
So they haven't performed this since the exile, and they were hunted and forced into hiding. And it's basically, it seems like they have some dark and unnatural powers going on. They're not friends of the Jedi. They were talking about, because Master Soul was spying on them earlier in the episode. We saw him creeping around the tree. So they definitely have been noticing that they're around. And the chant that they do, the 1 power, 2 power,
it
was so
of 1,
cringe.
The power of 2, the power of many. Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
bro?
That was so weird. And it seemed like a pretty easy little ceremony. Like May just stood there and like took some force power to the brain, and she was fine. Like it doesn't seem that scary. I think Osha should have just gone along with it. Like it didn't seem like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But then the Jedi show up before, obviously, Osha gets her powers, and Mother Anisea doesn't want bloodshed. So he says, put down your weapons, no violence. And, then obviously Tommen and Trinity show back up. We did get our Trinity scene like you guys were looking for. What's her name again? Actress?
Carrie-Anne Moss?
Trinity.
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Trinity, yes.
That's what it is. So we got another scene with her. I did like her more in this scene. And I do love we thought this planet was inhabited. And their mom goes, the all-knowing Jedi were ignorant of their surroundings. Like, she's just so arrogant about who she is, but
she's
it was
right,
dope.
Though. She knows they're full of crap.
Right.
Like,
yeah, because they're obviously aware that they're training children outside of the Jedi Order, which is against Republic law. So they're like, we have to take these kids in. And there's no father, so they might be the chosen ones. Maybe some dark magic to create these little kids. And, this is probably another thing people were upset about. I think people were upset about this. I'm going to say, I know. That creating a Force-sensitive child, this is something Palpatine tried, Plagueis tried. The Kaminoans couldn't do it, or the whole clone army would have been Force-sensitive. So, she did it somehow before everyone else. So, she has this different way of the Force than anyone else. So it is possible, but I could see how people would be upset at the same time.
This was the one that got me. I didn't care about the Force interpretation, but this just seemed, and it's not like I'm like, this is blasphemy, but I just didn't like it. It's just another aspect of Anakin's story that they're going, we already got the 8-year-old with trauma that gets inducted into the Jedi Order with an exception, even though they're too old. And now we have the Immaculate Conception. I just think it was super unnecessary. We didn't need another example of that. It makes Anakin's case less unique. And it just feels like we're kind of chipping away at the chosen ones. I just feel like we could have gone a different way. And like you said, with Palpatine and Plagueis, I feel like it kind of trivializes their powers too. If there's just witches out there who can just create Force-sensitive children out of thin air. So I thought that aspect was unnecessary. I definitely had an issue with that part. But
yeah, that was probably the one I had the biggest problem with too. And especially because they had an out, like, I don't know if you guys have read Shatterpoint, but, you know, the Coronai, you know, Mace Windu's people, they're all Force sensitive, like every single one of them. So if they would have just went that route instead of the witches making their own Force sensitive children, it would have made way more sense. And they could have, you know, brought in Harun Kal and you know, added that whole piece of the Shatterpoint and Mace Windu lore into, you know, more of the canon Star Wars stuff. That would have been really cool. But yeah, they went this route, and it didn't sit well with me either.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice little shot there. I haven't read Shatterpoint, but I've heard it's really good.
JD, how'd you feel about this Force inception?
I agree. It just minimizes Anakin's thing. It's just about, everything about what Dave said. Shatterpoint, though, Cody, like, real quick, is it good, though? Because, you know, we've all been wanting to read it, but we haven't pulled the trigger. But if you tell me it's a 9 out of 10, I might pull that trigger.
Oh, pressure's on.
No, I'd say
it's a 9.
Low to mid 7s, maybe high 7s. It was just, it drugged so much. Like, I will say the brutality of it. Like, there's some gnarly stuff in that book. It gets pretty crazy, but it drags on. Like, it's slow and very anticlimactic at the end.
Don't call me the dragger, dude. I don't like to read through that kind of stuff.
Like Master
today, I probably wouldn't. I mean, if you're bored, you know, whatever. But
that's not the best.
I wouldn't.
If you're bored,
you know, if you got to spare, you know, 14 hours to kill, you know, might as well throw it on audiobook. But no, I wouldn't put that, you know, up there with like Plagueis or Thrawn or Bane or any of those.
Of course.
Hey, real quick, I want to throw this out there regarding the twins. Why are they identical twins when they're older, but they pick 2 different actresses to act for them when they're younger? Why didn't they just do the same thing they're doing with Amanda Stenberg? Because we have 2 different looking twins as their kids, and then once they get to 20 whatever, they're now identical. I just thought that was weird.
Yeah, my wife was watching that out.
Those are different people. Those aren't the same girls, which I think they are sisters in real life, but still, why it doesn't make, how does that work?
Well, and I kind of thought that at the beginning it was the same girl because they like wouldn't talk at the same time, and you'd see like one's face in the back of the other one's head. And I was like, oh, okay, so they did this. And then my wife was like, those aren't the same person. Like, what are you talking about? And I put my glasses on. Like, oh, you're right. Those are 2 completely different actresses. Different
Cody's just been watching the show half blind the whole time.
Yeah, man, she's doing a great job. She's like 10. Just 2 of them.
Yeah, she's not Lindsay Lohan in Parent Trap. I definitely thought Lindsay Lohan was a twin for the first 10 years of my life.
Oh, same. Yeah. The technology is there.
All right, let's get back
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let's
Totally.
Master Soul. So he's a little ignorant here. Master Soul literally says, quote unquote, "The Jedi do not take children." So what do they do exactly? Because if they do take them, you're never going to see your family again. And then he pulls his lightsaber.
Neither does Disney.
He pulls his He pulls his lightsaber out and is like, hey kid, you want some candy? Look at this cool little toy I got. You know, if you come with me, you can get one of these things.
Yeah, bro. It was
and
super
she's like,
predatory.
She's like, yeah, okay, like let's go. I want to be a Jedi. Let's get the hell off this backworld planet. So, Soul, you were my favorite from the premiere, but this scene right here, it's like, not
That's
right.
what I'm saying. He was like the moral, like, oh, this dude is like, he's not black and white like Nazi, just obeying orders. He thinks for himself. He's got a good heart, yada, yada, yada. And then we just see him being super predatory to young kids. And he also had 2 other lines where he goes, you can't deny the Jedi have the right to test children. And it was like, that's weird. I get, okay, you can't teach younglings the Force outside of the Republic. That's somewhat more understandable because that could be a threat. But you are allowed to take every kid from every family and test them regardless based on your whim. That seems a little bit totalitarianism there. That seems a little bit of a red flag as far as your That seemed weird. And then he has the line where Osha's the only one who volunteers, and they're like, all right, Osha, you can go. And then Soul kind of has a little attitude to it. He goes, both of them, or both children.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, bro. Like, chill. Like, I
must collect all
I
for
was
sensitive children.
super bummed at how he was in this episode, because they immediately was like, I don't know about you anymore.
Well, and I think it's like they have to give like parental consent. Like, I don't think they're there to steal children, but they're, you know, for the
13
most
and
part.
under.
And, you know, the Anasaya or whatever, the mom, she was kind of like, you know, it almost seemed like they were asking permission, but also she was like, we're not part of the Republic. Like, you can't come out here and tell us what to do.
That's
So it's
Right.
already showing like another set of, you know, people that have, you know, are not,
Push the
you know,
rules.
I wouldn't say separatist, but they don't recognize the Republic. They're just out on their
Totally.
own, you know, doing their thing. So, you know, I don't think that they're forcing anybody to go, but it's like, hey, you might want to go or else.
Yeah, it's just, you know, not forcing them to go, but they were forcing to test them. And then I just feel like if they test well, like they straight up give them May to test too. And if they test well and they don't lie like May did, and they're skilled, I feel like they're going to do whatever they can to be like, no, we're taking them. Like, based off what I just saw in that episode, I'm like, well, they're probably not above Jedi mind tricks to the parents and being like, you want them to come with us. Like, because I don't know, there was just a lot of red flags in that entire sequence there, but
No, for sure.
yeah.
And when they get back, they meet with the Jedi, then they convene back to create a plan. And the plan is to have them fail the test on purpose. This super old creature gets up and basically says there's two ways of doing this, pass or fail. And another good line from her mom where they're kind of contemplating on what to do. This is about power and who's allowed to use it. This isn't about good or bad. You know, saying the Jedi are good, the Jedi are bad. Like, this isn't about that. This is more complex than just black and white. And, you know, just like we're talking about before, Osha's just being a brat, like just totally betraying her family. And, like, I guess she wants to, like, get out and see the world and, like, see other children that are like her, because even Master Soul says, yeah, there's thousands of children at the Jedi Temple. And she's like, holy crap,
So
it's just
much
me and my
candy.
sister. Yeah. So many lightsabers to play with. So I don't know, how do you guys feel about Osha? I know we kind of talked about it earlier, but you think Osha's right here after everything that's happened?
She was just a kid. I think she's just a curious kid who had no other. They were the only kids on the planet. It was 20 adult females and just her and her twin, and it just seemed like she wanted some independence. I can't fault her for that, and it's not like she's the one who set fire to the whole place because she wanted to leave. She got permission from her mother. Her mother even had a really cool line where she said, you know, fear shouldn't make this decision, Osha. You should. Like, I really like the mother. So she got the blessing from her mother. She wanted to go explore the galaxy. That's what Luke wanted too. I don't fault her for having these thoughts. I fault May if that's what actually happened. If she's just willing to burn down everything because her twin wants to leave, I would put the blame on her more so. But yeah,
It seems a little too similar to Anakin for me. Like, show up, find a Force-sensitive kid, doesn't really want to leave mom, but wants to go see the galaxy. And, you know, I mean, he didn't even really get much of a choice. I mean, Qui-Gon was like, hey, I bought you. Come on, kid. Call me master. But, you know,
you're free now.
yeah, you're free.
Free now.
No, it's
Mister.
master actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on in. But no, I mean, the same kind of thing, you know, Jedi showing up, and I mean, it's not that they were even there to test them, and I don't know, maybe this is like the, you know, with her coming in, it's kind of like the turning point to where, I mean, the rest of the, you know, if we 1, 2, 3, the rest of the council wouldn't remember any of this, but Yoda would, and Yoda was the one that said no to Anakin originally. And so even after he tested it the exact same way that, you know, Osha does, and Yoda was like, nah. So maybe this is like the one instance where he's like, no, we're definitely not taking 8-year-olds anymore. And everybody else is like, he's the chosen one. Cool. Whatever.
Yeah, right. Yes, maybe this leads to something so bad to where Yoda's like, nah, anything over 5, you can't come in. We're cutting it off at 5, all right?
But I think
Well, a lot
even
of
in
them are
this
babies.
one, They are. The majority, they're babies. But I think Yord
Like
even
Ahsoka,
mentioned,
yeah.
like, you came in at 8. The Jedi usually doesn't take 8-year-olds. Like, you were too old when we brought you in the first place. So that rule has already kind of been there. But I feel like Yoda's not going to... I feel like part of this plot is the fact they have to hide it from Yoda, and the events of everything that happens in the series can't reach the ears of the main Jedi Council and everything. Again, back to that cover-up theory. Because I don't think Yoda's
their secret small council or whatever that's handling the whole May situation too.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so the Jedi get the midichlorian counter out. Of course, you got to start with the midichlorian counter, get a little blood sample, then the classic blind force test that Anakin goes through. More Anakin parallels. And Osha's not a good liar. She ends up telling the truth. But her mom is a real one, once again, basically saying, you get to go out and make your own choices, create your own life. I'm surprised he accepts this so well that Osha wants to be a Jedi. I feel like she should probably want to fight to keep her kid around because she knows she's not a fan of the Jedi by any means, so I'm surprised she would let her daughter go away with them. And she knows that she will never see her child again, too. So this is like a big sacrifice she's making to make her daughter happy. So she is a good mom in the end.
Yeah, I like her.
But it's also like potentially the end of her coven, except for May, because they can't, like, they're not having children anymore. And so it was kind of a miracle in general that they made the twins, but then letting one of them just go like that. I mean, that's why everybody else, like the other mom, or I don't know how that all works, but that's why she was so upset. And she's like, I carried these kids. Like, these are my children. Like, you can't just let one go. And she's like, yeah, kind of can. She wants to be a Jedi.
Apparently you can just immaculate concept a few more based on the rules.
Yeah, no biggie. They don't need no man.
I'm being bitter.
All right, and the episode ends with the fire and the explosions. I think we covered it pretty well in the beginning of the episode. You guys got anything more on the end and how things wrapped up?
I have one more thing about the fire I forgot to mention. We saw the witches weren't burned to death. They were just straight up dead as the fire was starting to burn around them. So they got killed by something. Like, it showed a flash of like 10 of them dead, just laying next to each other on the ground. The fire had not burned them yet. So the fire did not kill them. The fire was still spreading around them. They were just dead. Maybe? And then her mom was laying dead too in another room alone. I don't think they all got hit by random explosions. I think something went through and killed them. Like, the fire burned down everything, but they're all dead already. So something had to have happened.
The Sith that's training May did it.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's something to it. There's something like that, yeah.
He's got to be tied to this fire thing somehow. There's got to be more we'll find out, too, like Cody said. So I'm excited about that. They still got that going for them. And the show still has the unique thing. It's very different. The vibes, like the character development, everything about it's very different. Still got a couple things going for it,
Yeah. Yeah, not all is lost. People are saying Star Wars died on June 11th at 6:48 p.m. or whatever it was.
When it ended.
Yeah, when it ended. So it is definitely not that bad. I am still excited for the rest of the season as well. I mean, I definitely like the first 2 episodes more than this one, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's Disney Star Wars. We gotta, love what we have.
Yeah, do we? No, but I'm not out on this yet still. Again, I think the response is still dramatic. I think that this was my least favorite, and I had more gripes with this episode than I did in the past. I still think a lot of the dialogue's not great. But again, I like the mother, and I'm still curious. We still have the Sith mystery left. Like, we still haven't gotten any reveal there, so I'm not giving up on this thing yet. There's still plenty of game left again. So it wasn't my favorite episode. I think it'd probably be a flat 7 at best, probably a little lower for me. But
6-9 range.
There's still hope. Yeah.
Dude, it's so interesting because it's not great, but I think it still has the potential to be fantastic if it does nail everything moving forward. Like, it's not like I'm disappointed in it at all yet because I'm still wondering what's going to happen, and they can still execute a lot of that really well anyway. So the potential's high, and they could very easily not. If they keep doing what they're doing here, it's not going to reach that potential. It definitely has to get amped up quite a bit. But they've established a solid foundation. to where it could be really good still, but they'd have to really nail it.
How many episodes we got left? How many total? There's 8? Okay. Well,
yeah, if they don't go back to this backstory again and that was it, then things are going to be a little wonky going forward. But if they go back and actually tell us what happened, if this wasn't it, then yeah, there's hope.
at some point. Yeah. There's a ton left unanswered there.
It's almost like they're gonna do a like you'll get to see pieces of it from everybody's perspective kind of deal. Because it was more like Osha's perspective on this part, then you'll get more of May's and maybe more of the Jedis, and so they'll kind of piece things together and kind of almost find out that it was a little bit of everybody involved kind of deal, but everybody's interpreting it a different way, and so it makes it seem worse than it probably was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you're saying. I hope we get answers, but I hope we don't spend too much time on that event. Like, I want answers to what happened, but I don't want multiple more episodes going back to it over and over. I'd like to see the story progress past that, but I want more answers.
Different perspective.
Episode 4 is going to be the exact same events, but just from May's perspective.
So that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Everything the same again, just from a different point of view.
I'm out on that, but I would like to get some different perspectives and answers on what the hell happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they touched on it again a couple times here and there, but
they need to.
I'd like it to push on now and kind of answer some of these other questions we got.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tell some stories. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for our coverage of Acolyte Episode 3. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Thank you, Cody, for joining us this evening. Second time on the pod. Of course, we'll have you back soon.
Hey.
And stay tuned.
I appreciate it. It's a great time.
And of course, House of the Dragon comes out this weekend, and The Boys, episodes 1 through 3. So of course, we will be covering all 3 shows throughout the seasons. We're going to be busy. Hope you guys are ready for the ride. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Team Black, baby.
Hey, Team Green. Come on, Team Green.
Team Black.
Only
Black.
People say Team Green
Black
have
attack.
deep-rooted issues.
Black attack. Black attack. Black attack.
I think Love sabotaged the feed. It stopped recording on my end right when we started chanting Team Black.